What was your process like for getting a handle on the character Avery Brundage?
Well, you talk to people who knew him. You read about him, what the press has said about him. You read anything that's been written about him, and see how people, how he comes across, and then see in the period that we are shooting the movie, that period of his history, you see what he is, what he does, and you try to find him. That's what actors do. They find characters, and if it's a real life character, then you have actual clues. Mm-hmm. But often, if it's not a real life person, you'll pick a real life person to sort of model your character on, the aspects. So there are many, but with a real life person, that's what you do. You just do a bit of research.
So this is your first time working with William Hurt, right?
It was. I've known him for years, and I've been a huge admirer. And getting the chance to work with him was absolute joy.
And you guys had a lot of conflict with your characters.
Yeah.
How did you guys work together on those scenes?
Well, we just tried to do what the characters do, which is to convince the committee that we were right. And I watched him as an actor. As had I been Avery, I would have watched him as a man and seen what tricks he was using to convince people, mm-hmm. and try to combat those tricks.
Can you talk about filming in Berlin, where these actual events really took place?
Well, it was extraordinary playing in Berlin because, the two great sets which we used, the Tempelhof aerodrome, which is in the centre of Berlin, which was built with the Nazis, which is architecturally just stunning, and of course the Olympic Stadium, which is also stunning, mm-hmm. And fantastic architecture. And to be there in the spot, it helps in some way you can't really put, because you can build great studio sets, and many films do that. But it's, Berlin is above all the most tremendous city. If any of your, viewers haven't been there, then I would suggest it's one of the greatest cities in Europe, and a very nice place to be filming. Mm-hmm. And then you have the advantage of all the original architecture against which you're filming against the backdrop of that.
Sure, it's almost like its own character in a way.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about Stephen James and what impressed you about his commitment to playing Jesse Owens?
Well, I didn't know his work before this, and I found this wonderfully centered, understated, concentrated, serious man who I was amazed by what he did. He such commitment to the role. And of course, I wasn't able to see all his competition stuff because I wasn't involved in those scenes. But I thought quite a talent.
Mm-hmm. He's really wonderful in it.
Yeah.
What do you believe audiences today can learn from Jesse Owens' achievements?
Well, I think with all movies about winners, we can learn that it's possible for any of us. That all we have to do is to really commit to whatever particular strong talent we have. And most of us somewhere have a strong talent, that anything is possible. And I think we also perhaps should be surprised that Jesse has not really been accepted by the American people, the American government, for the amazing thing he did for this country, mm-hmm. and for his talent, because of his colour. And I think that should be remarked upon and perhaps adjusted.
Perfect. What is your strong talent besides acting?
Mine?
Yes.
I'm very good at training dogs.
Ooh.
I'm not bad at riding horses. I'm not bad at sailing boats. And I'm not a bad gardener. And I think that's as far as we'll go.